Have you ever wondered why so many barns in Canada are painted red? The answer? It's a story that starts in the copper mines of Sweden, passes through centuries of rural tradition, and gets a distinctly Canadian twist thanks to the humble flaxseed. In central Sweden lies the town of Falun. For more than 1,000 years, the Falun copper mine was one of the richest in Europe. By the 17th century, it supplied 2/3 of the Western world's copper. Over time, miners noticed that the waste material, rocks and ores rich in iron, weathered into a striking red powder. This was iron oxide, and it turned out to be perfect for making a durable paint. Mixed with water, flour, and linseed oil, the oil pressed from flax seeds, this pigment created Falurudafar, Sweden's famous red paint. In the 16th century, King Frederick I of Sweden encouraged wooden buildings to be painted this red, imitating the look of wealthy Dutch brick buildings he'd admired in the Low Countries. Red became a symbol of elegance, then practicality. The paint's minerals preserved the wood and protected against moss and fungi, crucial in the damp Scandinavian climate. By the 18th century, Falu red was everywhere in Sweden, from royal estates to farm cottages. Scandinavian and other European immigrants brought the tradition to North America in the 1800s. Here's where the Canadian story adds its own color, literally. Linseed oil, the base for traditional barn paint, comes from flax seeds. Flax was first introduced to Canada in 1617 by Louis Hubert, the first European to farm in New France. He grew flax alongside food crops, not only for fiber, but for its valuable oil. Early Canadian farmers didn't have access to store-bought paints. Instead, they mixed their own. Linseed oil for penetrating and sealing the wood, milk and lime for better texture, and plenty of iron oxide, often just plain rust collected from around the farm. This homemade paint wasn't bright fire engine red, but a deeper burnt orange red that repelled moisture, slowed decay, and lasted for years. By the mid to late 1800s, red chemical pigments were the cheapest paint available. The tradition continued, not only for protection, but because red barns contrasted beautifully against white farmhouses. And while paints have changed, tradition of red barns still lives on. The red color has traveled centuries to become a symbol of rural Canadian landscape.